Beautiful. Yay. So this podcast, because it's becoming cosmically you, I'm very, very excited today. We've got a beautiful guest on, obviously physically, as you can see, and spiritually, Morgana Marie. So welcome, Morgana.
Thank you. Thank you so much. So glad to be here. Hi, everyone.
Oh, it's beautiful to have you. And I was reading your notes before about your serving humanities to shift their beliefs and create the soul aligned life they love. And I
Yeah.
love that you are. And one of the things you said you're really keen on is bringing someone home to themselves. So share with us who you are, what you do, and thank you for being here. We appreciate you so much.
Oh, thank you so much. Thank you. I'm Morgana Marie. I'm based in the UK in Hertfordshire. And yeah, for the last sort of 14 years, I'm celebrating this month. It's my 14th year in business and
Wow.
being fully me, I would say, in the world. Yeah, I help high achieving, sensitive business women to reconnect to her magnetic power. I become a confident business queen and attract clients with ease. That's my main program, that's my main offering. But I do also, help women to dive deep into unleashing their sacred feminine energy. That's the main premise of all the work that I do.
Mm.
And yeah, it's about connecting to that cosmic self, if you say, that true self, that being that we all are, and being that in the world. And that requires us coming home to ourselves and being that fully in
Mm.
totality with integrity and without filters and with true real rawness. So
Mm.
that's how I have gone through my journey, and I realize it's so needed. I think a lot of people shy away and they hide and they kind of dim themselves, and I certainly did that myself. And it was only when I stepped out of the closet I was like, oh wow, there's a whole new world available.
Yeah. And it really is like coming out of the closet, isn't it? It's like,
Yeah.
well, this is me, this is who I am, accept me or not.
Yeah.
So when did you start your spiritual journey? Like when did you start connecting with the fact that you've got gifts and all this beautiful thing?
Yeah, I mean, I would say it started about 15, 16 years ago when I was in my 20s, and I was going through horrendous chronic depression. And the doctors put me on antidepressants. And as you can probably, I don't know if other people have had this experience, but it made me worse, I feel. Kind of numbed me out, and I felt very lost. And I kept asking questions. There must be more. There must be something more. What else is there?
Mm.
And I had a little light bulb moment, and it was like, go and look at reflexology, go and study reflexology. And I was like, well, I don't even know what that is. I wasn't seeing anyone, I wasn't seeing a therapist or anything. So I looked into reflexology, decided I was going to go and train in complementary therapies for 3 years. And yeah, it kind of woke me up. It woke me up because I realized there was this healing available for myself that I hadn't even tapped into, that I hadn't even looked at, wasn't even aware of it. And yeah, I started to come off the antidepressants because that course changed my life. And the people in it, my teacher, everyone there, helped me to come back home to me. And it was through my complementary therapy journey and becoming a therapist that, yeah, I found who I was. And that was just the beginning. It's like peeling off the layers.
Mm.
And that's when I really woke up to, oh wow, I have energy. I didn't, I have ability to touch and help people feel better, or just being in the energy of a space, people felt calmer. People used to say to me, oh, you just make me feel relaxed, like your voice is so relaxing, or your touch is so gentle and nurturing. And I was like, oh okay, I've never been told that before, but
Oh.
because I'd never accessed that ability before, I wasn't
Mm.
aware of it.
I love that. So what kind of was the pivotal moment for you that you thought, right, I think I'm going to turn this into a business now? Was there a moment, or was it just organic?
Yeah, I'm a very kind of like impulsive all-in person, and I
Good.
was just like, I love this, I'm going to do it, I'm going to do a business. And there's people who were like, no, this is just for me, I'm just interested in you know doing this for family and friends. I was like, hell no, I'm here to change the world.
I love that. I love that. You've got such a sweet little soul, but I can tell like your inner child is like a fiery, like, "Let me have them."
Yeah, you got it right. Yeah, yeah. I have innocence about me, but I have a fire. And yeah, I was like, oh no, I gotta get out and do this. And I didn't know how to start a business. I had no idea.
Mm.
But I just did it. The day I qualified, literally was the day I like put myself online and started advertising.
Oh wow. And that's amazing, if you how you've just told your story, you've told it with just like, oh, this happened and that happened, but you already went through like a massive hurdle of having depression, being put on meds, and then not listening to people and saying, actually, no, you know what, I'm gonna just do this myself for myself, and
Yeah.
then setting up a business with not even having the fucking clue what you're doing, you
Yeah.
know. Would you say that was just, would say that was courageous, or would you say it was more naive, or probably a bit of both, or how would you kind of
Oh my
assess?
God. Definitely a bit of both. Definitely a bit of both because yeah, I was like super courageous. Always have been a courageous girl. Like always have been. But yeah, I mean, did I know all the stuff that was going to happen in business? Had I known all the whirlwinds and spirals and healing that had to occur for me to actually get to where I am today? I probably wouldn't have gone there. Probably would have been like, no, I'll go and get a job in Tesco's or something. It's easier.
Yeah, exactly. I'll be a shelf stacker and I'll just have a house full of cats type of thing. Because it's
I'm
fucking
comfortable there,
easier.
thanks.
But I mean, my team want me to remind you that actually you had no choice.
Yeah, yeah, yeah,
The
yeah,
truth of it,
yeah,
right?
completely. I was like, oh, okay, and this is what's happening now, is it? Okay, okay, what's next?
I love that you've just completely rolled with it every single moment. They're showing me this vision of you just being like this really excitable little girl that just doesn't really know what's next and doesn't
Oh,
care. She's a lot skipping along for the journey, they're saying.
oh, I love that. Thank you. And literally, I'm skipping along. Like, honestly, I'm just like, okay, well, let's go and learn this. That's exciting. Let's go and implement this. Let's go and teach that. Let's share this.
Wow, well, you know what? Massive congratulations on 14 years. And it's such a divine number, 14, isn't it? Like, I always,
Yeah.
think of the new beginnings in the angelic realm when I think of ones and fours together. So,
Yeah.
absolutely beautiful that you've made it this far, and this is just the
Oh,
beginning for you, right? So,
feel like it. Yeah,
you
yeah.
know, I think, like what you said as well about if I'd have known all the whirlwinds and the healings that I'd had to go through myself, I wouldn't have done it. So, explain some of those whirlwinds, because I think everybody out there on social media thinks that all they need to do, right, is hire a coach, work for
Mm.
6 months, and then they'll be a billionaire. So, I love talking to people who actually have been through it and are still going through it probably and are still doing the stuff. So, explain to us some of them kind of whirlwinds and troubles and all the shit that you've had to deal with, if you may.
Oh wow, because like where do I even start? Yeah,
Yeah.
it's like okay, well I have to believe in myself fully to even set up a business. And I used to have complete imposter syndrome when I first started, like going to clients' houses, having to even receive money from a client. I couldn't
Mm,
even take the cash out of their hand.
mm.
I was like, no, pay me by, just put it on the couch. I don't want to take it out of my hand. And just things like that. I was just like, how are
Wow.
you paying me for this? Like, what's going on? I felt a complete imposter. And people would say to me, oh, you've got spirit around you and you've got like energies around you. And I was like, well, I don't think I do, but I don't know what you're seeing, but I'm certainly not feeling it. And I was completely closed off to my
Mm,
psychic self for like many years, and it took me quite a long time to actually be open to that
mm,
and to let that in. So that was quite terrifying for me, but also just these personal aspects. And then things like, okay, what do I say in my business? How do I speak to people? How do I get clients? Like not knowing how to set boundaries in my business, clients not paying on time or clients not paying at all, and me just want give everything all the time and actually not receive back.
mm,
There's so many times when I used to have like really quiet months or a few months where I'd just be like, well, I haven't got any clients this month, but and I really struggled. And but I would put special offers on or things like that, but that didn't even work either. So I used to go into complete self-shame, judgment, and wrongness, that there was something wrong with me, and maybe I was doing something wrong, and that whole spiral again of maybe I should just quit and give up. And every time I tried to quit and give up, spirit would be like, no, you keep going, keep going, but you're not giving up now. And there have been many times when that's like happened where I've just been like, do you know what, I can't, I'm not doing it anymore. But every time that happens, then a breakthrough happens. So it's kind of like riding the wave of that. Just learning who my clients have been and who aren't aligned as well is quite a big one, to sort of let some people go, like energy vampires who drain your energy and who don't value your time. And that was hard for me to sort of say, okay, well, now I'm really here to help this kind of person, because it's kind of eliminating some people, but those people weren't serving themselves and they weren't serving me. So it's just having those boundaries as well. It's been a huge part of me being successful and happy and fulfilled in what I'm doing, but also being able to make the difference that I can make. God, yeah, just so many times when I've been like, oh, I think I'm going to do this right now, but spirit's like, no, you need to go and heal, you need to work on this first. You need to work on this and clear that. And I was like, wasn't even aware of it. And then I had to go and look more deeper into my inner child, where she needed some healing and some help and guidance. When I wanted to take the next step, but I just wanted to take the next step. But I couldn't take the next step without doing the healing on myself first, or the relief work on myself first, to then get there. It's like kind of walking through treacle otherwise, trying to get there and not being resistant of that.
Oh, so totally. And you talk about like embodying your soul self and this feminine energy. How do you think like their position, and how do you think that's showing up in the world right now? Because whenever I look at like female entrepreneurs in the groups, that some of the Facebook groups I'm in, I feel like there's a lot of wounding that comes with femininity, embodiment, and also money as well. Those three things related. I feel like there's a lot of trauma, even with the really super successful millionaires and billionaires. I feel there's still a lot of trauma. Like, what do you see and feel in the world right now?
Yeah, I'm feeling a lot of like the feminine feeling really a lot of shame, also a lot of there's a lot of manipulation as well. That's a big one. That's a real deep core wound, feminine wound, manipulation. And it doesn't come from a place of integrity at all, obviously. This feeling of like unworthiness, like that's really a big one. Feeling unworthy. Competitiveness is a big one in the in female entrepreneurship. When we see each other as bait or a competition, and it shouldn't be about that. It should be about collaboration, connection, working together to rise, not wanting to kill each other and all of that.
Claw each other's eyes out. My team is showing like them as cats trying to claw each other's eyes out.
yeah. There's a lot of that, and it's that needs to change in order to have more harmony and balance with the feminine, rather than this separation. And there's also a lot of just judgment, massive judgment of others, what they're doing, what they're and it's just a lot. And it's very I see it in kind of communities as well, like clickiness, this almost like, again, a separation energy, like pushing other people out. Money wounding, having to almost like there's the undercharging, but you have the imbalance of charging way more than they are even taught to charge, or almost like, it's like, I don't know how to describe this. It's kind of people not embodying their own business. I see a lot of that. It's like you're not going through your own personal experience to be able to facilitate and teach that, especially stuff around like trauma, or working with people in general. You need to know how to work with people, and if you don't know how to work with yourself, then how do you work with people? And a lot of people jumping on the bandwagon and trying to earn money being a coach, but not really doing the work. So it's a big problem.
Yeah. And you're a lifer, really, aren't you, at 14 years? So you yeah.
Like
You've
I've been
seen
doing
a
this
lot.
for lifetimes. People always say to me, you're very wise. And I'm like, well, yeah, I've just been through a lot. I've been through a lot. I've done courses and trainings, but I've been through a lot. Like, it's more than, I've had a lot of my own traumas, and every trauma has taught me how to up level, grow and heal, and change my life. So I get it. I can understand, have empathy. That's one of my strongest skills, I think. Empathy.
Yeah, and I love that. Part of the embodiment is going through the stuff yourself so that you can connect with other people. And I think there's a lot of people missing out that step and learning how to be a coach rather than being a coach.
Yeah. Are you coachable? Are you self-coachable? You don't even need to do a course in coaching to be it's not even regulated, but over here, I don't think it is anyway. But are you able to be self-coachable? I'm always coaching myself, like, oh, okay, let's work on this now. And it's kind of, that's so integral and important part of being a great facilitator and coach. You can be self-coachable, not just coached by another, but self-coachable.
Yeah. Oh, totally. I'm one of those coaches that doesn't have a coach.
You don't need one if you're doing it yourself,
Yeah.
if you're self-coachable, then that's pretty much all you need, really, unless you want to work on other aspects in your life. But it's not wrong to not have a coach. Absolutely not. If it's aligned for you or not, isn't it, right?
Totally. You've got to go with what's right for you. So what would you say have been some of the most important aspects that you've gone through in order to really embody the femininity that you bring to your work?
I mean, self-connection, actually being able to connect with myself, like, fully, be vulnerable and real and intimate with myself, having to sit in the darkness and, like, just see what's there and face it, and being that shadow self. Like, I'm still in that shadow self at the moment, as I've been going through a big phase of change in my life. Being able to sit with it, but still process things, not bypass it, not push it away, not try and pretend it's not there. Actually acknowledge it, learn from it, and embrace it. That's been a big part of me exploring my feminine, really, and what needs to be heard, what needs to be expressed, what is ready to be explored. My sexuality, sensuality, my ability, the way I express myself, and I'm still working on it. So self-connection every day is important. I know when I'm not connected, because that's days of high stress, high pressure, and I haven't taken a moment to stop. And that's an old sort of feminine wound as well, where we just have to kind of keep driving ourselves into the ground and forcing things or pushing ourselves because of competitiveness. Just lots of self-touch, connection. I use a lot of modalities. I'm a yoga teacher as well, so yoga's really helped me to come back home to myself, to listen to my body. That's really important part of going through my own process, listening to my body, not my head.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I was just having another conversation with another podcast guest, and I said, like, if I could cut my head off and still be alive, and just lead with my heart space, it'd be so much more effective in life.
Really? I'm like, just lead by heart. Great, I don't need a head.
Yeah. Leave my heart and my vagina and
Just
forget the
leave the
rest.
two most important parts. But honestly, though,
Yeah.
connecting with your vagina, your vulva, your womb space has been a huge part of me connecting to my feminine. Like, if she's angry, right? I'm gonna listen. I don't know if she's angry.
What does she say when she's angry? I want to know more about this. Come on.
I mean, it's like, how dare you? Like, she says things like, how dare you, treat me like this? How dare you you know, how dare you not listen to me? Like, I can tense when she's like restricted or tight or uptight. She's uptight, and she has, you know, and it's like, oh, okay, let's relax, and everything's because like we believe that as women, a lot of us feel that we have to, by being strong, we have to feel like physically strong. So therefore we contract and we hold this kind of like warrior energy, which is great, but actually there's a lot of strength being in our softness and in that gentleness and de-armoring ourselves. So yeah, when she's angry, and I can tell like on the outside everything's not working, it's chaos. It's chaos. Actually break things. My energy will break things. The technology won't work. All sorts of weird stuff happens.
I can't actually imagine you being angry just from your energy and what I'm feeling from you. I can't imagine you like getting angry about things.
Rarely. Yeah, it's more potency. It comes out more as a potency, that energy, the fire, than an anger. It takes a lot for me to be angry, but it's that energy of like potency. Like, I gotta say this. If I don't say this, I'll just, I'll burst. That sort of energy.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
I love how you speak to your vagina. I love that. You're the first podcast guest that has told me they speak to their vagina. I think I'm going to ask every woman that question. So, what does your vagina say to them? We might have to change the name of the podcast at this rate. I want our listeners to dial in and tell me what their vagina is saying every day. Because Morgana says. But you're absolutely right. And the thing is, Morgana, like we've had to, it's not just us in this present time, is it, that we're dealing with these traumas with our vaginas and our body organs. It's we've inherited these lineages where trauma has occurred, and some quite serious traumas as well, you know, that stop you from really being able to step into the femininity and the feminine energy. There's a real blocker, isn't there? How do you see that showing up in your work?
Yeah, a lot of women aren't connected to that part of themselves. Like, they just think it's a source of copulation, sex, and nothing else. But actually, it's a place of creation. They don't understand that this is how you create your life, from your womb, from your yoni, whatever you want to call it. They are so disconnected from their femininity and their sensuality. It's a big place of shame. And at one point it was for me, because I was like, well, I'm actually really sexual and really sensual, but for years I've had to repress it. And I've not even grown up in like a stigmatized society, really, but it's just, it can be society, but I'm talking about family. But it's inherited in my mother line, actually. No one in my female line has ever been able to express themselves fully and be themselves fully, and even be sensual. There's so much shame about it. And I see the women that come to me and they have like almost like given their sexual power away, or their sensual power away to their partners, or been manipulated through, because it's our power place, it's our most powerful energy center. And if we attract people into our life that are trying to use that power for themselves, then we end up literally dry, burnt out, exhausted. Abundance doesn't flow. We can't find our creation anymore. Our creativity is diminished, and that's pretty much what happens. And then my businesses kind of bow. That's to the extent of that, of what it is. And I've seen that in my life, my previous relationships, and I had to learn. I learned, oh wow, this person's kind of actually not contributing to my body or my business. It's actually been detrimental to my body and my business. And I would be very exhausted and tired every time I was around that person. So it's about teaching discernment of who we spend our time and energy with, how we're, how are we feeling energetically within ourselves? Are we listening really to our bodies?
Mm. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah, so true. Our bodies are really powerful, and this is a lot of what we teach as well. It's we teach like how to listen to the somatic processes. You know, what does your heart say? What are the
Yeah.
physical sensations? Because I think a lot of people are influenced what's going on around them by people, by people's opinions, and I find that really sad that not many people are living their true authentic selves and their lives, and your business is really just an extension of that, isn't it? You know, you don't create a business that's different to you, you create a business that is you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do see quite a lot of disjointed businesses and people as well, especially in the female entrepreneurial world. I feel like a lot
Mm.
of women have stepped too much into their masculine,
Yeah.
um, and so it's like success is rewarded and celebrated, but for the wrong reasons.
Completely. Yeah, completely. I used to be a person that was like this. Like, I would never celebrate the little steps that you used to make every day. Like, oh wow, I sent an email to that person and they replied and they're interested. Or I went for a walk and, you know, actually listened to my body today and took a rest. Like, these things that actually are really important.
Mm,
But it's like, no, that all gets disregarded, you know, and then this is where we force and we push, and all of everything else just gets disregarded and become so far away from ourselves, and then that's what causes all the overwhelm, the burnout, and yeah, later on in life, illness, disease, imbalance, being ill. You know, it's like sacrificing yourself for the sake of success, and yeah, celebrated, like you say, for the wrong reasons, or for the reasons that actually, what is success to you? You know, what is success for you? What does that look like? Not what it is for others or for society. What does that look like for you?
mm, exactly. I'm really being happy with that because I feel like whenever anyone, I mean, don't get me wrong, my team pushed me to do more. You know, if I had it my way, I'd just be napping all day and I'd wake up for little bits of food every now and again. You know, I'd be like a
Love
hedgehog, you know, hibernating.
it.
I wouldn't go out and speak to humans unless I was out to like hug a tree, you know, or go to the river or go to the beach or be with my children. I just wouldn't go out, you know, I just wouldn't. I just love being at home. And
Yeah,
yet there are so many people that are celebrating and wanting more money and wanting more things. And I just think that that is such a wounding around not just celebrating where you are right now and being grateful for everything just right now.
right now, be present. Actually, you know, the purpose of life is to live joyfully, I believe.
Mm,
um you know, you have a sole purpose, yeah, but you're living life to be happy and joyful. Are you in alignment with that? Like, are you taking a moment to be present, to enjoy what your body wants? Like, I used to feel really guilty for going to the spa for the day and just relaxing and thinking, oh my God, I should be working. I should be
mm,
working. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. What a failure. And my body was like, no, I needed a rest. I needed some warm, hot water, some lovely, tranquil surroundings. Thank you for listening. So
mm.
it's that battle consistently. If you don't listen to it, you won't honor yourself.
Yeah, but the thing is, the resting and the doing stuff for yourself is part of the work.
Yeah, absolutely. It is the
It is the work, yeah.
work.
And it's the most important part of the work. I would say 9 times out of 10 when I'm working with someone, I'm not sure you feel the same. I have to teach them how to slow down,
Yeah, yeah,
do
yeah,
less,
yeah,
enjoy more.
yeah, yeah. One of my coaches said to me, and this is when I first started out, when I was like in this kind of do rather than be. Queen does less. The queen does less. She sits and she receives, and you know, just as an energy form, really. She sits and
Mm,
she receives. I was like, oh God, yeah, okay. And that changed my whole, like the whole way I run my business. Just that those
mm,
in those words, I was like, yeah, she does. Why am I doing this? Like, why am I doing, like, running myself into the ground to prove to who what? To prove to myself, to prove what, you know. And it's important to do that and be that self-reflective, and not from judgment, but from learning and understanding and coming home. And yeah, so important.
mm.
Mm.
I love that. I just love that you're in this energy where you're not out to prove anything. You're just living your life on your terms, and I truly believe that's what life is about. Just living each and every decision, every step in perfect alignment, and not really caring what other people think, and not really caring about the good stuff as well. Because I think
Yeah.
if you don't care about the bad stuff, which is positive, you've also got not care about whether people put you on a pedestal or not. And I always say to people, I'm not your guru. Like, don't
Yeah, I
praise
hate that.
me.
Oh yeah,
Don't
yeah.
brown nose me. I
No,
will not be friends with you again if you brown nose me.
no. Yeah, yeah. I hate that guru thing. Like, oh my God, you're like so much. I'm like, it's about coming home to you. When people ask questions, and I'm like, well, ask yourself the question.
Mm,
Or what question can you ask yourself? They're like, yeah, but I need to know how to do this. I'm like, well, ask a question.
yeah.
What are you gonna do? Not what I do. What are you gonna do? And just, always that empowerment of self, like, is so important, I
Mm,
feel. And especially in this industry of business, like, I've seen so many people jumping on the bandwagon of, oh my God, they've got this certain program that's going to get me here, 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 like promising a result. And I'm like, yeah, but everyone's different and no
mm,
one operates the same. Like,
mm,
of course you can learn things, and I have gone through different programs to learn different things, but really what I've come to the conclusion of is, okay, I can teach and guide a process, but really it's down to you and you
mm,
question yourself and staying in the question.
mm,
Because that's how you create your life, is through question,
mm,
following the energy, two
mm.
steps at a time.
Yeah.
It's simple, really.
Oh, it's so fucking simple. Humans overcomplicate everything, though. I'm always saying to
Same.
people, all you got to do is this one thing, not
Yeah.
three things, not 10 things, this one thing. Do that one thing and then do that one next thing again and just
Yeah.
keep doing it. And yeah, humans all, like you say, they want to know the how. They want to know how you're doing it, because if it's working for you, it's going to work for me. And that never works, never ever.
Right.
And that's why I think I received a download, and I spoke about on the last podcast, but I want to say it again because it's important. That a lot of like modalities, a way of processing of things are starting to crumble away a bit. And I'm not saying there's not any weight and importance in those things, but I
Mm.
feel like within the next 5 to 10 years, it's going to be like, how do you personally do this healing for yourself? And
Yes.
that is where everybody should find their power within, not like how I'm going to be taught how to do that. And I
Yeah.
really feel like that's what what we're here for, the wave that we're here to create.
Yeah. Well, I love that. Yeah, I just got tingles.
Yeah. And the other thing that my team were really big on were sharing stories. We've lost this touch of sharing each other's stories, and receiving healing
Yes.
from just hearing how people have navigated through their own trauma. Back in the day, Aboriginal times, we used to get around a fire and share stories and lift each other and cry together. And we've really lost that connection.
Yeah.
Whereas I think in the next 5 to 10 years, that's why they wanted me to start a podcast. They were like, you've got to share people's stories. I was like, brilliant, I can chat.
Oh,
And so I feel like the modality of healing is really changing rapidly. You
yeah.
feel that as
I've
well.
noticed it. Yeah, I've noticed it over the years of healing, and really, it's just there is no right or wrong way of doing it. You do
Mm,
have to, like, every modality I've ever learned. This is probably why I've done so many different modalities, because at the end of the day, really, it's kind of like having a little bit of this, trying some of that, but then also finding my own way of doing it myself, and noticing that you can have these modalities, of course, but it's really about coming home to you, asking
mm,
yourself questions,
yeah.
doing the work, self-talk, self-coaching, self connecting. But you got to start from somewhere, so it kind of gives you a starting point. I feel a lot of the modalities that I use or have been using, but yeah, I have seen a huge shift and change over the years.
Mm,
Um so yeah, and I think there's a revolution in that, which is already started and will continue, which is very exciting. I feel a big shift energetically with the cosmos, the universe, everything, and it feels very exciting. I
mm,
think it's yeah, it's just going to be huge for a lot of people, and I'm excited about how the planet is going to be living, our Mother Earth, our healing too as well. Another reason why I do it, have we thanked Mother Earth for letting us walk on her back, all that she goes through every day.
Yeah,
She keeps
yeah,
regenerating, doesn't she?
yeah.
Yeah.
And like we're part of that regeneration as well, because obviously the more work we do on ourselves when we go
Yeah,
back to her, we're just
yeah,
healing her as well as she's healing us. So
yeah. Absolutely,
really is
absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah,
Yeah.
I honestly did. I mean, this is my first human life, so I honestly didn't think that we would get this far in my human life
Oh
to where
wow.
we are. But it's very exciting for me to see and feel just a completely different shift in the world.
Yeah, 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 yeah. I do agree. I mean, it took me some years to sort of actually feel like I belonged on this planet. Fact I
Mm,
don't. But it's now the sense of like, okay, well, now I've landed, now I'm here, now I feel like I belong. Like, what else is possible? What can I do
mm,
to make a difference? What connections can I make to come together? Because it used to be very much about me doing stuff on my own a lot of the time. Because for me, community wasn't really relevant. I was like, well, I've done this my whole life on my own. But really recently, even this is kind of coming to the business aspect of bringing people together, like women's
mm,
circles, and just bringing people together in some form, like that relatability, but that connection of being able to share, uh,
mm,
which is something that I've always felt like I've wanted to give, but never knew how to because I didn't have that with myself. But now I do. It's being able to bring people together to share, and that's, like you say, so healing in itself.
mm. It is
Sharing,
sharing
seeing,
and holding space as
holding
well, and just letting
space.
people know that it's okay to feel the way you do.
Yeah, yeah.
It's
You're
so
not alone.
empowering.
Yeah,
Yeah,
you don't need to be alone. Either you can be alone, choose them as and when you want to be alone, but you know,
yeah.
just having
I
that
think if
sacred
people
space.
understood like truly how not alone they were, I think they'd go the other way and be a bit freaked out. Because I'm
Yeah,
like, I'm never alone.
yeah,
Not in a
yeah,
human form, not, not in an entity form anyway. I'm always surrounded by some being or some entity that want to message me, and I'm like, no, not today. I'm relaxing, I'm resting, I'm eating.
yeah.
With
Not
my
today.
kids, I've got so many boundaries and so many rules with them that they're just like, okay, is it time now? I'm like, no, not quite. They
No.
just rolling their eyes at me constantly, they're just like, here she goes again.
Well, good for you for having that. It's important to have boundaries. Yeah, it's
I
important.
think so. So what would you say is the kind of like main focus of your work at the moment? Is it on bringing people home, or is it femininity, or how does it all kind of come together for you?
Yeah, basically, I'm focusing on the women who are already like leaders of light. Basically, is my kind of pool, helping leaders of light to lead higher, greater, and better for themselves first, and then they can lead greater for others. It's always really been that, but that's what I want to focus on, and it's focused around coming back to your sacred feminine energy, connecting to yourself, releasing all the trauma, clearing all the beliefs that actually aren't working for you, that aren't even yours anyway. And then basically taking the steps that you need to take in order to expand your purpose, your business, both personally and professionally. So it's really a whole holistic approach to working with my clients.
Wow.
And yeah, it's very much guiding them, being the guides. That's what I prefer. I like the name of that, like, I guide you.
Hmm.
um and I've been kind of rewriting everything recently because I've been going for a big transition myself. So as I'm transitioning, obviously the business transitions, because as you
Hmm.
say, it's an extension of us. So yeah, that's my focus right now.
I love that.
And yeah, it's
Yeah, and
exciting
I think it's so
times.
important to be that guide. Like we refer to it as being like a side mirror. Like I'm not here to
Oh,
tell you exactly what to do. I'm here to
yeah,
be in the little boat next to you to make sure that you don't crash on the rocks, or if you do, I'm there to pull you back on the boat type of thing. I think one of my biggest purposes was to collectively dissolve the codependency wound in women.
Huge. Yeah, massive. Yeah, I've come through that. I'm still healing some of that myself. Like, it's so deep, right? It's such a core wound. Came out in my last relationship, and I was like, oh wow, I still have that there. That's really incredible healing for me. So I love that. That speaks to my heart. It's so important.
It is. And how do you find, if you don't mind speaking about something
No, of
personally,
course not.
how do you find that the codependency showed up for you in relationships?
Oh my God. Okay, so like giving my whole self to that person, having to completely close myself, cut myself off, cut my business off, I was like all for that person. And for the feeling of wanting to be needed or wanting to be loved or accepted for me, but that never happened because I come so far away from myself that I wasn't me. As and just this whole putting the person on the pedestal. Oh my God, he's greater than I am, he's better than I am, but like at the detriment of myself, like not acknowledging me. Yeah, just this lack of respect for myself, lack of respect for my boundaries. Just like, oh my God, it completely shifted my life. And I'm grateful that that soul contract is now complete, because it's taught me to return to my sovereignty. And yeah, but that's how it showed up.
Yeah, I
It was
think we've all
painful.
gone through it. It is painful because I think one of the things as souls in this world is that we really want to be loved.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
so the codependency, and I also find as well in intimate relationships, sometimes the lines are a bit blurred. Like you can go out there and help your client with something very powerful, but then when you show up in an intimate relationship, all of a sudden your mind
yeah,
just goes to shit and you can't even follow your own advice.
yeah, 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 yeah,
That's happened to me before.
yeah, yeah, same. And it's just this willingness to kind of cut ourselves off and give and give and give, but we're not actually giving to ourselves, and actually we're kind of like destroying ourselves in the process of that love. Although what it did teach me was how open my heart was, which was bigger than I thought it was, because considering I've had that relationship repeating in many different relationships before, that like codependency, I still remain with a huge open heart and this willingness to forgive myself, most importantly. So that was quite a amazing thing that came out of it, because I actually thought my heart was more closed than it was, and less trusting and less like open. So yeah, it's taught me how open it is.
Oh, I love that. My team are just coming through with a message with you if you're open to share
Yeah,
it.
please.
Okay. They're just sending me this message to you, like, when you're weight training in the gym and your muscles have to literally physically break in order
Yeah,
to become stronger. That's
yeah.
what they're saying with you. You've had to go through this process of physically breaking your heart so you could continue to expand and grow. And I love that.
Oh, makes sense. So definitely my heart was broken, for sure. For sure. It's still like healing, still a bit raw. But I'm just doing my inner child, connecting every day and being like, I'm here, I love you, it's okay, we're in this together, just so thank you for that message. That's beautiful. So painful. Oh my God, it was so painful. But now I'm like, thank you for that opportunity to heal that wound, and
Yeah.
I'm still healing it. So yeah, huge breakthrough for me.
Yeah. But the
Yeah.
thing is, if you hadn't have gone through that, you'd never be able to relate to women that had. So, I always say you need to have gone through it authentically to then lead
Yes.
others. And that's the stingy bit about it, isn't it? You're like, I chose this so that I could lead others.
Yeah, exactly, like my higher self. Like how thank you for orchestrating that so I could learn and then like lean into my light more as well. Like yeah, it's painful, the human experience. Thank you for that. Not
Yeah, you
just
got
like
to
be
get
doing it already. My higher self's like, see, I knew it would be worth it.
yeah. 'Cause they have no concept of human emotions or pain, so they're just like, right, next. You're like, no, not right now.
No, not right now. Not right now. Right,
And
yeah.
I think the matters of the heart are one of the most difficult things to go through. I mean, I remember going through a really toxic breakup with I have female relationships, so I was in a female relationship that was really toxic, and she
Oh,
mirrored back to me all of the childhood wounds, all of the childhood trauma that I've ever had. You know, it literally teared me apart. She accused me of being a narcissist and all these things. So it took me about 2 years to heal from that. But at the end of it, I was so grateful for her in playing this role that she did as an actress in order for me to see these things that I needed to heal, you know. And I think when you get to that level of gratitude that this person enabled me to do this, and this, so that I could go through this very deep level of healing, I think that is really difficult to get to. But once you get there, you're like, bring it on. And the other thing I noticed as well, they want me to just share with you, Morgana, is that in order to open up my heart fully, I had to go through that pain as well. You know, I had to crack it open physically and mentally and emotionally. So you just training to become even more than you are.
I feel that now. I feel that now. When you're in it, it's like, oh, what is this? What you? I think is when you're in it, you don't see it really. I mean, I did see it, but and I knew, but there's something in it that the higher self is like, no, keep going. There's something in this for you. Keep going, keep going. You're doing so great. And then yeah, now I know like to remain heart open, and I had to. It was my biggest fear was to have my heart broken, and it
Mm,
happened. But
yeah.
now it's like, oh, it's actually not that bad.
Yeah, you can do it again.
I
And the
can do
thing
it
is, as
again.
well, like, you know, where you are moving to, your divine love match will have such an open heart space that
Yeah.
you are moving towards that. You know, you are moving towards being ready to meet that person in their divinity and you in your divinity, where you're just like, oh my God, this is absolutely beautiful. So, you know,
Yes.
it's that he was just your training, he was your
Completely.
elfie,
I'm
you
so
know?
grateful. I'm so grateful. It was completely my training, you know. It was all the projections and the gaslighting and the kind of like, you know, the blame shame game that was like, oh wow. And I'm just, you know, going like, yeah, this is fine. I'll take it all. And then one day I was just like, no, I'm done. I'm done. That took a lot of strength. That attachment, that energy of like need and like that addiction, because it's an addiction. That addiction. Um, oh, it's just like coming off. I can imagine it's probably like coming off any form of addiction or any addiction. That's what it felt like, you know. And
Yeah.
I'll say that vulnerably and real. That's like hard.
Mm,
But if you think of lifetimes of that codependency, and you're breaking that,
mm.
only destined for greatness.
Oh yeah, totally. But then also in the back of your mind, you're thinking, why fucking me? Do you know what I mean?
Oh, completely. Victim. Yes. Why me? Why did this happen? Why didn't I leave sooner? Why did I allow that to happen? You know, all that. Of course, it's that blame, shame, judgment that we go through. Like, why did it have to happen so harshly?
Mm,
But the heaviest and the harshest way, it's like, yeah, what a blessing in
yeah,
disguise. So yeah, hopefully this inspires more people to self-realize that yeah, it's what we go through in order to become yeah who we want to become and who we are really, and it's just conditioning and trauma, and we just need to heal that.
yeah.
You know, you're not alone.
And the universe always puts its bravest soldiers through the toughest of assault courses. So you're
Yeah,
just there going through the mud for
yeah,
everybody else, literally.
yeah, yeah, the yuck stuck and what the fuck.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. Oh dear. Well, it's always a bit stingy when we have these lessons, but you know what? The most important thing that people to know and to realize is that even when you're leading others, you're not immune from the work.
No,
You're not
completely
immune from
not.
the lessons.
No, you're not.
And
No.
it's okay actually to talk about them and show up and share and say, listen, I'm still a work in progress and I always will be. And that for me has always been empowering because I don't know what you think of the terms like awakened and enlightenment. They to me they've always suggested there's an end destination, whereas I've always felt that there is no end. And that's been empowering for me because there's no
Yeah.
finish to it.
No, I don't believe there's a finish. I believe we're always evolving. Like in this lifetime, when we die, and then we'll incarnate, or and then we'll keep evolving. Our soul keeps evolving. There's no end to. And I don't think, like, even in my practices and teachings of yoga, you reach samadhi. But then what goes beyond that? I don't believe you reach a certain level at all. I
Mm,
believe you constantly are evolving and enlightening and learning. And I don't. It's really empowering to come from that place of like work in progress. Like, I might be 2 steps ahead of you, doesn't mean I'm any better than you or greater than you or higher than you. It's just like, don't do what I did.
yeah.
I'm just like shortcutting the process for you. No, just yeah, just like, I'm here to just like guide you through having more, peace, more ease with things, and and learning with more self-love and appreciation, like, and I feel that's so needed. Yeah. So
Mm,
especially in this business space as well, in the business world as well, being authentic and real and honest, open, transparent. I've
mm,
always kind of enjoyed being that, because it's just, I can't sugarcoat stuff, really.
yeah. Well, it's just so much easier as well because you haven't got to think about what you're saying. You can just, I mean, the amount
Yeah,
of times I just rock up in my Facebook group and do challenges and I'm in my PJs,
love it.
and they're just like, I'm like, you've got to come in your PJs. Just come. No makeup with your PJs. Just come as you are.
Mhm.
And I think that's how it's got to be. Like, just show up and see what
Just
happens.
show up. I love it. Yes, I agree. Show up in the mess, show up in all of it, show up in the beauty, show up, just show up. All of it.
Yeah, exactly. Being visible is such a big thing right now that I feel like a lot of women, I mean, I don't know what you did before you did this, but my background was in corporate. I was a tax manager for, one of the big 5 companies in the world, very serious, like, job. I can't even imagine being in that world now. I
Mm.
think I'd be
That's too
laughed
hard.
out of the office.
Like, she's got to go. This one, like, can't have her here.
Yeah,
She's
she's a
through,
weirdo.
sweetheart. Can't have her. No, we don't do that here.
I think they always thought I was a bit different anyway, to be honest, back, over 10 years ago. But just think we're seeing a lot of women move from their from their corporate world into thinking about spirituality and serving the world. And I don't know if you work with women in that capacity as well, but I just think it's
Yeah,
so
I do.
needed.
Yeah, so needed, because they're kind of coming out of it and they're transitioning. They don't know where to go. They're like lost. I've helped quite a few women in that transition of what do I do now? Like the split. I mean, we just gone through a big like split with I don't know how to explain it, but there's been this like shift of 2 worlds happening massively, and I think a lot of people are breaking up relations are breaking up. People are leaving their jobs. There's like so much of a shift right now, so it's so needed to be like, to get back into alignment of, okay, well, what now? And having that exciting place to go through. And it doesn't have to be scary, and you do it alone, definitely not, you know
Mm. And
yeah.
oftentimes we don't know what's next, do we? Is the truth of it. You just wait for your instruction and then
Yeah,
take it if it feels right to you.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
as simple as that, guys. Honestly, it really is that simple. I always tell my VIP clients and the people in my group is all you've got to do every day is ask one question. What should I do today? And just
yeah.
do that 1, 2, maximum 3 or 4 things and do those things. That's it. Switch off then. Go and have fun. Go and sleep. Go and eat. Go and have
I
sex.
love that.
Do whatever
Yeah,
you
yeah,
love.
yeah, yeah.
But it gets to be that simple, right?
It does, it does. We build too much conclusion, expectation, decision about what we should and shouldn't be doing, and we entangle ourselves in that mess of, oh, it's just mess, instead of just asking, okay, well, what joy and fun can I have today that's going to create this result or whatever. Being the question is just so good always, and keeping it simple and following the energy and what shows up, rather than have like this set out plan of I'm going to do this, this, and this, and this. And you're kind of not letting the infinite possibilities show up and opportunities come to you.
Yeah, you just cannot have a plan. They reminded me of when I was having my children. I just did not have a birthing plan at all, and they were actually quite surprised the first time, because I think a lot of women have a set out plan of what they need to do and what they expect and what they do, this and this and this. And I just walked in, I said, no, I haven't got a plan. I'm just going to go with the flow. And they were a bit like, well, okay, well, that's good. But they were a bit shocked. And I think that's how I live my life, really. I never really plan stuff. And even in my personal life, I'll ask the girls, I've got two children, what do you want to do today, kids? Where should we go? What should we eat? And we're just creating
Love that.
life.
Yeah,
And
just create your life in the now. Love it.
yeah,
It's the
we
best way
get
to be.
yeah, they get some really weird I mean they offer up some really weird things to do sometimes. I'm like, no, we can't have chocolate for breakfast every day. Let's try and have something healthy today. But why, mummy? We had ice cream yesterday. Okay, but yesterday was a one-off. We need to look after our teeth. We need to look after our bodies. It's kind of like balancing doing everything that's fun with a little bit of common sense as well. So
Yeah, absolutely. Giving the body what it kind of requires, but also not denying yourself treats and joy and whatever that looks like. Having a bit more flexibility with that, I think. So this is something else that I've struggled with in terms of like in the past, having to have like a strict diet or discipline to have only this, and this, and it just never works. I'm a rebel. It's never going to work. I'm going to break out of that and go, okay, no, I want to do this instead. Get bored, so it's best to have a flowing, flexible approach to life, but also know when, find the balance with it as well.
yeah. My team's saying like you're like the kind of rebel that never gets caught because you look so innocent that they never put the blame on you.
That sounds about right. Yes, I have my innocence. You see, it works a treat.
Yeah, exactly. You can always hide behind innocence, can't you? Get away with anything.
Get away with anything.
Yeah, evil laugh. So one of the things that you said that you're working on right now is you've got a Sacred Feminine Full Moon online women's circle.
I
Do you want to
do.
explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so that's on the 27th. That is going to be an opportunity for the women who feel called to come to connect, communicate, and basically set new intentions for the year ahead. And also cleanse and release everything that is been the past. So kind of letting go of the year, shifting, transitioning. So it's coming together. We're going to share. I'm going to go with the flow with this. I don't really have a set plan. I never really do. We're going to flow with it, probably do some movement practice, maybe some breath work, some sharing, and yeah, just really basically offering some coaching guidance if people feel like they want it. This is a space for people to come together, share, and be together. And this is online, 7:30 to 9, I believe. Yeah, UK time.
Okay, awesome. That's beautiful. And is there anything else you really want the readers, the listeners to really know about you or what you do? Anything that we've not really covered?
I think we've pretty much covered most things. If you have any further questions, feel free to reach out to me. You can message me on Facebook or find me on my website as well. Yeah, I'd love to build connections and relationships with anyone who feels called to that.
Yeah, beautiful. Okay, so I'm just going to say goodbye to the listeners, Morgana, and then I'll start recording, and then we can have a quick chat. But thank you for everyone for listening to this
Thank you.
podcast and showing up. And thank you so much to Morgana and bringing her just like childlike, badass, innocent self. I love that. And bringing all the laughs about speaking to your vagina as well. I think it's really
Oh,
important
welcome.
to bring just fun and laughter to this world. I find the spirituality world in itself is just a little bit serious at times, and
Yes, completely. Yes.
and I
Yes.
don't really do serious a lot of the time. I'm like, if it's serious, somebody else better deal with that because
Yeah.
that's not me.
Yeah. You
So
need laughter.
I appreciate you bringing the fun. And
You're
yeah,
welcome.
I'll chat to you in a moment. And thanks everyone to listening. If you've got any questions for Morgana, like she said, I'm going to drop links and ways that you can contact us and ask her any questions you've got. So beautiful. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Okay, over and out.